Today I'm behind the wheel of a brand new and redesigned 2021 Lincoln Nautilus. Now the Nautilus on the outside pretty much still looks the same with a few subtle tweaks, but the inside, the interior cabin has been upgraded tremendously. It just looks better, it works better, it feels better, and matches the interior cabin of the other SUVs within Lincoln's lineup. So just how good is this brand new Nautilus and how does it drive? Keep watching and find out. Starting with the outside, the Lincoln Nautilus still looks very similar, and that's not a bad thing because to me the Nautilus still has that unique Lincoln look. It's upscale, it's luxurious, it's curvy, and just looks different than all other manufacturers. Now the grille, even though it has the same shape, the opening, the slits inside is a little bit different than the previous grille. And also if you look underneath, there is a chrome bar that's been added, and the fog lights, the LED fog lights have been updated too, but that's about it. Now this is the black label that I'm reviewing, so the headlights are full LED. They have a very nice shape, and also they do bend, so when you turn your steering wheel, they will follow the direction that your Nautilus is going. Now moving to the side, you can see this black label is filled with chrome window surrounds. There's also a chrome strip underneath the door. There's a chrome badging that says Nautilus, and on top you do get a satin or slash chrome roof rails that completes the look. Also with this black label, you do get 21-inch wheels, which definitely fill up the wheel wells better. In terms of the design, I'm not sure I like the design of these wheels that much, but they do give the Nautilus a nice stance. The back of the Nautilus looks pretty darn good too. You have LED tail lamps that stretch from one side to the other. You have that Lincoln badging that's right in the middle. Of course, you have a large privacy glass, a big spoiler on top, and also dual chrome exhaust tips, or finishers I should say, and they look pretty darn good. Now moving inside, the trunk space, as you can see here, is actually pretty big. It's actually bigger than I expected. And when you fold down the second row seats, you get even more cargo room, and the seats do fold down flat. Now moving to the second row, you can see that this Nautilus black label is filled with beautiful white perforated leather, and they definitely look good, smell good, and they feel pretty good too. Now, as for space in the second row, that's where it's a little disappointing. I'm 5'10", and you can see I barely have about 2 to 3 inches of legroom, and the same with headroom. I would say 1 to 2 inches. The good thing is you can recline the second row, but you cannot slide the seats forward and backwards. Passengers get a pair of vents, heated seats, and plenty of ports. Moving up front, this is where the Nautilus really wows you with this beautiful dash design and center console design that has been updated for 2021. Everything mixed together just looks fantastic. Now inside this Nautilus, you do get two giant screens. One, a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, and of course this replaces everything. You have a digital speedometer, tachometer, and of course in the middle you can scroll through many menu items with your trip computer, TPMS, etc. What I like is you can actually change the view. You can customize it for say GPS or music, and basically whatever you want to display, so it is customizable, and that's pretty nice. Now the other screen that you get is this giant 13.2-inch touchscreen that controls your infotainment system. This is now utilizing Lincoln's Sync 4 system, and I gotta say this works a lot better than the previous one, and I gotta say that this interface is a whole lot better than the one that you see inside Ford. Ford also has Sync 4, but it just doesn't work and look nearly as nice as this one. Scrolling through is pretty easy. There are some quick navigating buttons on the bottom. Also, you get Wi-Fi in here. You get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, which is really nice. And you can adjust these 22-way seats. That's right, you can adjust that however you want to make it fit your butt and your back. And what I love is there's a massage function in here, and there's many different things you could select to suit your needs, and not only for the driver but also for the passenger. Now moving down, one small change is the placement of the engine start stop button and the button style shifters. which is right underneath the vents. They're kind of hidden, but this location is definitely better than the previous location on the 2020 Nautilus. And underneath that, you do see a floating shelf design, and it makes it easy for you to just reach things. It's right at your fingertips. And underneath, you do have some storage space, although the placement and the opening's a little bit covered up. So if you wanted to put something big in there, you still have to be careful, or you have to just really jam it in there. Now on this floating console, you pretty much have everything. You know, heated seats, ventilated seats, of course, your climate control, your volume knob, your tune knob. Pretty self-explanatory. Now underneath that, you have a wireless charger pad, 2 USB ports, and of course 2 cup holders. Above, you do have HomeLink buttons, and you have a giant panoramic sunroof inside this black label. Other features that you get in here include memory seats, power folding mirrors, and paddle shifters. All right, I'm on the road. Let's see how good this brand new Nautilus is and see how it drives. First, I want to talk about this beautiful interior cabin. I'm really wowed by it. As soon as I sat inside, I'm like, this is a good looking luxury SUV. These days, even non-luxury SUVs, they have a really nice cabin, but this one is just really nice and really stands out. I think the screen, first of all, really stands out. I love the interface. The interface just has a nice, you know, elegant design, and it just fits. It fits really well with how this car looks and how it feels. I think Lincoln did a fantastic job, and somehow it just works. It works well. And the Sync 4 system is very different than Sync 4 from Ford. I know the back end is probably the same, but the way it looks, the way it feels, and also the screen, very different. I'm a big fan of this. And you know how this is integrated? It just flows really well. I love this dash design, right? It's good use of, you know, leather and wood trim and just soft material. And I love the floating center console too. It just, everything's right at your fingertips. Now that I'm driving around town, I can tell you this Nautilus is also extremely quiet, as it should be. This is a luxury SUV, but I'll tell you, it's really quiet. I'm looking down, I'm already traveling 40 miles per hour, but I thought I was only traveling maybe like 25 because it's so quiet. There is nothing from the outside, no wind noise, even cars passing by, like right now, hardly anything. Nothing from the road too. So Lincoln did a really fantastic job with installation, and of course the front window, the side glass, their acoustic glass also helps with it. Very quiet. Now as for these seats, these are the optional Ultra 22-way adjustable seats, and I haven't spent a lot of time trying to adjust it, but there are so many things you could adjust, and I'm just not used to that. Even from luxury SUVs, normally you get 12-way, 14-way, maybe 16-way, but 22 ways. And it's really impressive. But even without adjusting, I think they're very comfortable, very supportive, and they definitely feel very good. Now, what I really love though, what I really love about these seats is the massage function. And honestly, I thought they would be a gimmick. I'm like, how can, you know, massage seats do anything for you, right? Especially inside the car. I have one of those really fancy massage seats at home. I'm like, this can't compare. But you know what, after using it for a little bit, I was amazed. You know, there's different functionalities you could choose from, and you could really feel it right on your butt end and your back, and they actually do make a difference. So if you're thinking that, you know, it's just a gimmick, you're not going to use it, trust me, especially in those long road trips when you just keep moving around your seat because you just feel achy all over, they actually do make a difference. As for driving position and visibility, both are good. This is a mid-size SUV, so you get a good commanding view of the road, but Lincoln designed it very well all around you. Every window is nice and big. The blind spot is good too, although you get blind spot monitoring. And the rear window is very big and not cut off by those headrests or in any way. So visibility all around is fantastic. And of course, when you open up this sunroof cover, there's so much light that comes in, and it just feels overall pretty spacious, pretty airy in here. With the exception of the second row, if you're like 6 foot or above, you may feel a little cramped because there's just not that much leg room, which I'm honestly quite surprised by. But you know what, up here, that's definitely not a problem. Now, as for the suspension, that's where it's a mixed bag. I thought it would be more soft. With a car like this, definitely it's catered to, you know, people that want luxury. This is a luxury SUV. It definitely feels like it, it looks like it. So I kind of figured the suspension would be a little bit softer. It's not too bad, but I do feel a little bit more from the imperfections and bumps and so forth. So I wish the suspension would be a little bit softer. But also what's strange is, you know, I do feel like there's a lot of body roll, like way more than there should be. So because the suspension is not that soft, you know, I kind of figured that it would be, you know, it wouldn't be that bad around corners. But I gotta say, every corner, every turn, every bend, I feel like there's a lot of body rolls. Whoa. Okay. So the acceleration definitely was impressive, and quite honestly, it's just surprised the hell out of me. I did not think that this Nautilus would be that fast. And that's because this Black Label is equipped with the optional 2.7 liter twin turbo, you know, V6, and it's producing 335 horsepower and a staggering 380 pound-feet of torque. Now, 0 to 60 time isn't the fastest, around 5.9 seconds, but I got pushed back in my seat, and I felt like the rear would go down. And you know what? That was actually a lot faster than I thought. So acceleration is definitely not a problem. Even if you get the normal non-option engine, I mean, you're still getting a turbocharged engine, plenty of torque. It's around 250 horsepower. But this one is definitely the one I feel like you should get, because it just makes this Nautilus a lot more fun. The steering is okay, but again, like the suspension, it could be better. The steering wheel itself is fantastic. It looks amazing. It feels good. But the steering feel itself feels a little bit artificial. There is quite a lot of steering play, as you can see. There's a lot, and I feel no input in the car right now. So it could be more precise. It could have less play, but in terms of the weight, it's okay. It's a good weight, just feels a little artificial. So steering could be better. Now, as I'm coming to a stop, the brakes feel good. You know, the Nautilus is coming to a stop, good linear feel. The brake pedal feels normal, doesn't feel mushy or stiff. So brakes are good. Now, there is one thing about this Nautilus that really bothers me, and that's the rear view camera system. There's just something wrong with the camera. It shakes, the resolution is grainy, and there's a lot of shadows, and a 360 view camera system also looks like that for some reason. I don't know what it is, if it's a software issue or hardware issue, but yeah, that definitely doesn't belong on a car like this. I think that's the only thing that I have a real gripe with, and I hope Lincoln could change that for the future. Now, reflecting upon this Nautilus today, I think this is a pretty good luxury midsize SUV. As for the outside, I'm a big fan of the design. I think this is a really nice looking SUV. It has that good luxury look and style, and you could definitely tell it's a Lincoln. And when you move it inside, it's really, really impressive. I mean, I've sat in basically every single mid-size luxury SUV, and I gotta say, this is among the best I've tested. So I love this interior. I think Lincoln did a fantastic job with the interior, and I also think that, you know, the digital gauge cluster and infotainment screen is fantastic, and essentials too, like you get plenty of USB ports and ports all around. You get a good amount of cargo space, and everything in here is pretty nice in terms of the seats, the quality, the fit and finish, and of course, you know, how quiet it is, how nice this this Nautilus drives, and also how powerful it is with this optional twin turbo engine. I mean, the combination of everything, this is a pretty outstanding midsize SUV, a very compelling one for this luxury class. So next up, let me talk about the different trim levels and pricing, and also rank this Lincoln Nautilus among its peers. As for trim levels, there are 3 to the brand new Nautilus. The base, which is the standard, starts right under $42,000. Next, you have the Reserve, which is right under $50,000. And finally, the Black Label, which is the one I've tested today, and it starts above $65,000. Now, as a reminder, the Black Label does come with the optional 2.7-liter turbo engine, also comes with all-wheel drive, and nice features such as the Venetian leather, the 19-speaker audio system, 21-inch wheels, and much more. To conclude, the 2021 Lincoln Nautilus improves upon the 2020 model slightly and still remains one of the best 2-row luxury midsize SUVs you could buy today. The outside is stylish and striking to look at, and same goes with the interior cabin. The fit and finish and quality on the inside really wows you, and the large infotainment system and digital gauge cluster work really well together. The seats are very nice and comfortable, the drive is quiet, and the optional engine really shines. The bad to the Nautilus includes a smaller legroom in the second row, the dismal rear view camera system, and the Black Label pricing makes it higher than most of the competition. Overall, I'm giving a brand new 2021 Lincoln Nautilus Black Label a score of 94. To see where it ranks among its peers, check out driversonlyrankings.com. Thanks for watching, hit the like and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to check out these 2 other videos.